I don't think being materially comfortable or aspiring to be materially comfortable necessarily makes you a capitalist. It's what you're willing to do and what is material comfort to you. If you need a Rolls Royce and 74 mansions to be comfortable, then there's a problem. There's some self-esteem issues there. But you know, a decent house, running water, you know, good food. There's no reason why every single person on this planet can't have that. The only reason they don't is greed, nothing else. It's not that there's not enough resources to go around, it's none of that. And I don't think we should romanticize poverty, particularly those of us, even if we've only come from relative poverty. I remember what it was like to feel poor. It wasn't nice. It's easy for people who are middle class and rich to pretend and talk about, I'm going to wear broke-down shoes and I'm going to dress like a tramp and whatever else. I know my community and I know what it's like to feel poor. If I go and talk to kids in school and I look like that, they're just not going to listen to me. I tried it. I went through a little hippie phase where I said, right, cool, I'm going to let my afro grow way out here. I'm not going to care what clothes I'm going to wear, even though I can afford better clothes. And they use them, they just can't engage with that because they feel poor. And no one wants to feel poor and look poor at the same time. And so to me, I would say to young people, it's okay to want to be comfortable. No one wants to not know where their next meal's coming from. But I think this whole mansion, Rolls Royce, Bentley, I think it's a sickness. It's a natural sickness to have $100 million and want 100 more. To have 500 million pounds and want 500 more. To these corporations, you know, these sweatshop owning corporations, which I wear, so I'm a complete hypocrite, you know. But to make 14 billion pounds a year and say, well, we need 16. You know, it's an illness, it's a mental illness. If that was food that you were gathering and you had this room and it was full of, I don't know, pizzas or burgers or, and you said, right, cool, I got all this and I want more and I'm just going to keep eating, people say you're sick. So I think we need to revise our what we idolize. We don't need to idolize people because they're billionaires. They haven't really achieved anything special, you know. They've not made the world a better place. All they've done is hoard all these resources that could be being used to actually make the world. And some, I'm not saying all rich people do, some rich people do genuinely good stuff. But for the most part, you know, I think aiming to be comfy and then to spread that comfort as much as you can and aiming to earn your money, if you can, in a way that's dignified, in a way that doesn't violate your self-respect and your spirit, that's success to me, and I've done it. You know, I'm not saying I've never done any wrong in my life when I was younger, and that didn't make me feel good. Whereas today, no one can't tell me that, and I earn my money making music that I love and educating people that I care about educating. And so, in a weird sense, and I know this because I can talk to friends and uncles and cousins or whatever else, I feel way more successful than friends of mine or cousins or uncles who've got more money than me. But what they are doing to make their money violates their spirit every day. And that's different. If you're a person that has no real spirit and you don't care, then that's fine. But a lot of people who do wrong, particularly who come from more difficult backgrounds, if there was a better option, genuinely in front, they'd take it. And that's the thing what makes me laugh about people being vilified. We live in a country and in a world where they'd rather put particular groups of people in prison than send them to a top-notch school. So that's what makes me laugh the most about racism, right? Is they say, you know, black people are inferior, they're stupid. If that's really the case and you really believe it, you could send every black child to Harvard, you know, and Eton and the most elitist institutions in the world, give them the best of everything. You wouldn't need to put anyone in no ghettos. You wouldn't need to make any effort. If you genuinely believe these people are inferior, you could give them the very best of everything and they'd still fuck up, right? But the fact that you have to create these environments and go to so much effort in the States, in Brazil, in the Caribbean, all across Africa, to maintain a level of poverty, to maintain a lack of access to resources, etc., etc. It tells you don't even believe what you're saying yourself. And so, to me, I think revising what we see as successful and looking at people that serve community as success, I think would do a great deal also to ease our own insecurities. Like a lot of young boys, particularly young African Caribbean boys, feel unmanly because of the way hip-hop's become and because of this expectation to have this, to drive that, to move that, and the way other men, let's be real, when black rappers are flossing, who are they flossing? They're not flossing on rich white people, the people that make the cars that they're driving, the people that own the champagne companies that they're advertising for. So they're flossing on who? Us. And so there becomes this, you know, racialized competition that no one wants to admit is racialized, but they're not really flossing on white people because white people are like, but you're still black. You can dress up in as much white people's clothes as you want. You know, you can drive as many of our cars as you want. You're still black. So you definitely ain't flossing on us. Yeah. And so I think it's quite an unhealthy definition of success and an unrealistic definition of success in a racist capitalist society. And I don't want to be held up as an exception. Oh well, Akala made it, so you can all make it too, because that's not reality neither. And I don't ever want to become one of those people that's like, you know, if you just pay attention, you can be like me. That's not reality, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think that there are people way more successful than I am that have less material. This will be my last point on success. You know, Stokely Carmichael was way more successful than me. You know, he's going to live forever. Malcolm X or Toussaint Louverture or Jean-Jacques Dessalines. People that may have died in tragic circumstances. Amilcar Cabral, Assata Shakur. You know, these are people whose names will ring on throughout history because they sacrificed material gain for a bigger vision. And to me, really, when your name can be ringing out 200 years after you're dead for something you represent, Patrice Lumumba, that's way more successful than just being a rapper and doing a few shows. So also I think elevating those people as the pinnacle of human dignity and success would be useful.
I feel like it's just more a chapter that I opened because it's something that I thought I wanted. I went through years, like, you know, when in my younger days. I grew up on Walpole Estate at the age of 7 and then moved to Bastion Road in Plumstead. And it's like, you know, this whole time, you know, we did go without quite a few things in my household. You know, but my parents always grinded and, you know, they did their best to do what they could, and I love them for that. But it's like when you get to a point where you expose yourself to, you know, the finer things, you indulge. Because it's like, right, what is this place? It's like when a kid is in the street and it's outside and it's cold and grey, and then they open the door and they're in a sweet shop and they see all of these colourful wrappers. They want to grab everything off the shelf. And I had the same mentality, you know. You know, I acquired a lot of money doing what I did before, and I wanted to treat myself, and it's like, you know, it became my new reality. It was, you know, it was temporary because I wouldn't want to be in that space right now, and that's why I'm not there anymore. I went through so many different changes and hurdles in life, and then I realized that the things that brought me that joy were very short-lived because it wasn't what I really wanted. I wanted it for then. It's just like, okay, cool, you can save up £10,000 and go and buy yourself a nice Rolex, and then you've got the watch. Where'd you go from there? Or who are you even impressing? Anyone that's going to be impressed by a £10,000 watch hasn't got £10,000. So does that mean that your competition is broke people? Where does that, what kind of volume does that speak for your aspirations? And the people that actually are inspired or do appreciate something of that magnitude, not to a point where they're in awe of it, are leagues above. Leagues above. And they, you know, that's the sort of social circles. I remember when 50 Cent did the move with Glyco for the vitamin water, and he grossed over 200 million US. And, you know, he had an interview and he said, you know, they asked him about his new success and the wealth and his social circles, and he said, are you serious? You know, my new social circles now, I move with people that when they hear about the deal that I just done, they say that's cute. You know what I mean? Like, the money's, it's not about the money for them, it's about the move, it's about the success. You know what I mean? That money was a small change into comparison to, you know, the billions that they've accrued over their years of investment. So the point I'm making is like, you know, something that I thought I wanted, I acquired it, and I lost the interest. Like, there were people that, you know, that were around me that was sort of like, wow, that's a lot of money that you're spending, and I couldn't see it because I'd worked so hard for it and it was mine, and it just, to me, it was free. Like, my money, how can you tell me it's a lot of money I'm spending it. And then it's like, in hindsight, it's like, the fuck? £2,000 on a Gucci jacket. I remember bumping into my brethren Sincere the other day, like, you know, not the other day, like about a year ago, and we were talking about, we got the same jacket. And he was even saying that it's lunacy, like, I was spending this much money on a coat. But it's a sense of ignorance that you feel like, I did it on my own and it is what it is. I'm paid, I can do what I want. Then I remember about 2 years after going through that phase, I became a dad. And when my daughter came into the world, it's like, my world, something just did that to my world, you know? And then I'm looking at things like, everything I did before, cool. But everything I got to do now, wow. You know what I mean? So it's like my priorities just changed, everything changed, and I did really, really see what was important. And I thank God that I did, you know?
You have to understand that the money is valueless. Paper's valueless, cars, all of this stuff, they're just nothing. They mean nothing. We know this. I know this. And if you don't, then understand it from now. Do you see what I'm saying? But in the world we live in, other people give them significance. We can give them significance for that time being. But as long as you just deep down somewhere know that this doesn't matter, these other things matter. Your family, your friends, love, human emotion, all the rest of it. These are the most important things in life. These are the things you can't buy, and not to sound cliche and all the rest of it, but they're the things that are going to keep you sane. This part of it, they're just things, but then in there in the middle is that financial freedom part that you're looking for. That part where you can do essentially anything you want because within the rules of the game that we've been placed in. So here's life. It would be lovely if you could walk to the beach, which is all the way in Dubai, but you can't. You need a plane. To get on the plane, it's going to cost you this much money. To feel that feeling that you need to feel over there, you have to do something, get this ticket, money, all the rest of it, and then you can feel it. I understand that. I understand the rules. All I understand is that the paper part of it, the ticket, the plane, doesn't mean nothing. That part, being there, is the bit that means something. So as if I have to do what I have to do to get there and feel like I worship money to feel that financial freedom for the sake of the game, then so be it. But I know that that's where, it's not really where it's at. There's nothing there for me. Do you see what I'm saying?
Bro, back then I said, was it 08? I'm trying to put 65 bags on my wrist. Like I swear that I've got friends that's telling me now, like, I didn't even know you could get 65 bags on my wrist. Now they're looking at the Migos with Protects on their wrist and that, they're thinking, shit, that's what he was talking about. Like the skeleton APs and all of that. Like, but even then, I'll be real, I didn't know about them type of watches back then, but I knew there was watches worth stupid money, like, and I was really trying to get that. Yeah. And don't get twisted, that a lot of all my friends can buy what, like, it's like what we're talking about T, like everybody's on this flashy thing. We're not really on that. A lot of my friends can go and buy jewels and all of that. Like since I bought my 6-7 pen, I ain't really been on jewels and all that, but man can buy jewels and all of that. But you need your mind right. Like, have a stable house, please. Like, if you've got kids and all that, they're good before you even start doing your stupidness and all of that. Like, there's morals and stuff, and I don't think everybody has morals. And me and my friends and me and my group, I'll say, we got morals. That's a fact. Like, we was all raised by mummy, like not daddy, like mummy raised, man. Like, so we know women's love, women's pain, and all that. We know things that we're not just some immature kids off the road. Success is achieving what you set out to achieve, because that means you're successful. You set yourself a goal and you got it. I don't think success is about having the most money or having the best car and shit like that. They're like material things that yeah, it's not really important. But you set goals within yourself, and then you have checkpoints, and each time you get to a checkpoint, you're getting closer to your success, or you're being successful at passing what you've set yourself. Yeah, I don't think I'm nowhere near it. I don't know if I would ever get there, because I look at it like this. If I just say, for argument's sake, I just said to myself, okay, cool, I want to go gold album, I want to go #1 once, and that was my end. So then once I've done that, then what would I do? Then I'll be like, okay, cool, I'll be chilling in life, because I think I've done it, I've ticked it off.
Oh man, perception of success is a real fuzzy, weird thing, man, because it's like, on one hand, the day I paid rent, you know, with money from music, like, I felt like the most successful person on earth, because this is a dream. This is not like a job at Starbucks. This is an actual, like, creative, like, dream, you know. So it's what I wake up every day and live for. So, you know, success is, you know, it's tough to define, man. I feel blessed to hire my friends, to send money to moms, and to travel the world. Like, you know, it's amazing.
It's a hard question, because it's like, I try and be realistic. Like, everything in my life, I try and be as realistic with myself as possible. So I don't want to think I'm bigger than I am, and I don't want to, if anything, I tell myself I'm not as big as I probably actually am in real life, but I don't know, man. It's just like some things. It's weird because I don't know. I actually don't know how to answer that question because sometimes I feel like I should have got more for that show. But then I'm thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't have. I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? And then sometimes I think I'm at a show and I see another show on Instagram. I'm thinking, wow, why am I not at shows like that? Do you know what I'm saying? But then I'm just like, I just tell myself, bruv, you gotta make another banger then. You gotta make another hit, you gotta make another song that people can't live without. Like, if you wanna get there, it's almost like I wanted to be the person that I'm gonna make so many good songs. This was my last option. I thought, I'm just gonna be the guy that makes so many good songs that by the time everyone looks back, they're gonna be like, why did we get paid that good? Like, why, what? What was he doing this whole time? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to make good songs, and then hopefully everything I want finds its way to me, because I can't just be out there just chasing bigger things and bigger. I just be chasing for time. Hopefully I just want to do what I do and just make songs that make things come to me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
It's easy for me to talk if I've had fun and enjoyed things and understand that they're all temporary. Of course it is. I understand that my car used to give me the most joy in the world. Now I think it's a piece of shit. Do you understand what I'm saying? I understand, I've seen it happen. And it's hard to tell someone who hasn't seen it happen or felt that it's rubbish. But I'm just telling you from my experience, because nobody told me.
Right.
It's as simple as that. Nobody told me. I had to learn it for myself. So I can tell people now. And I'm not saying that. I still love all those things. I still love my chain, still love my watch. Look, it's here, it's on. But my watch doesn't do anything.
Apart from time.
Yeah, that's it. But if somebody else is gonna treat me differently or see me as a oh yes sir. If I'm gonna walk into a certain shop and they see my watch and then now they're gonna not look at me funny, and so be it. This is the world we live in. I'll play the game however you want to play it. I don't make the rules. Cool. But I'm still a human being the same way everyone else is. So when they look at my watch and feel away, I'll look at mine and I'm gonna take you more seriously. It's just the way it is. Just the way we've been programmed. It is what it is. It's hard to change it. You've said it, innit? You're saying, I'm serious about life in some way, shape or form. I've done something, I've achieved something. We can have conversation to achieve more. Sometimes it's all that watch says.
My perception of success, I would say, because it's different to everyone, innit? Because everyone thinks that, like, you need to have multi-million, like, man need that though. Like, I do want that. Do you get what I'm saying? That's where my focus is, to go and get that. But really, success is just being able to go out, to say you're going to do something and going out and doing it. Do you get what I'm saying? So, in terms of, like, right, do you know what? I'm going to have a career in music and acting. That's what I'm going to do. Right. I'm not going to make money from it. I'm going to make a living out of it. And I'm going to do that as that's going to be my occupation. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm doing. So that's success, innit? It doesn't matter, like, it don't matter if, like, you ain't top the charts yet or you ain't gone platinum yet. Like, that don't matter, innit? I'm successful in that, you know what I'm saying? So I think for me, yeah, success is just having a plan and executing it to the best of your ability.